Hello and welcome. Today, we're exploring a fundamental question about the Canadian economy. Is Canada under-industrialized? This isn't about pointing fingers, but about understanding the structure of a modern G7 nation. We'll examine its reliance on natural resources, compare its manufacturing sector to global peers, and consider what the future might hold. Let's dive in. Our first section looks at Canada's resource reality. Canada is incredibly rich in natural resources, from timber and minerals to oil and gas. For decades, a significant portion of its economy has been built on exporting these raw materials to other countries. This has brought immense wealth, but it also creates a certain vulnerability. When global commodity prices fall, the Canadian economy can feel the chill. Now for our first question. Quiz question 1. What percentage of Canada's total exports are natural resources? Is it around 25, 50, or 75%? The answer is about 50%. This highlights a deep reliance on raw materials. Quiz question 2. Which country is the largest single bearer of Canadian resources? The United States, China, or Japan? The answer is the United States by a significant margin. Quiz question 3. True or false? Canada processes most of its own timber into finished furniture before exporting? The answer is false. The large amount is exported as raw lumber. Quiz question 4. What major mineral is Canada top global producer of, often exported for battery production? Is it lithium, cobalt, or potash? The correct answer is potash. Quiz question 5. How does a heavy reliance on resource exports affect the Canadian dollar's value? Does it typically strengthen it, weaken it, or have no effect? It generally strengthens it, which can sometimes make other exports, like manufactured goods, more expensive and less competitive. To recap, Canada's economy is strongly tied to the export of raw natural resources, making it sensitive to global price fluctuations and dependent on its primary trading partners. Now, let's examine the manufacturing gap. While Canada does have a manufacturing sector, how does it stack up internationally? When we compare Canada's manufacturing output as a percentage of its GDP to countries like Germany, Japan, or South Korea, a noticeable gap appears. These nations have built powerful economies by transforming raw materials often imported into high-value finished products like cars, electronics, and machinery. Quiz question 6. Roughly what percentage of Canada's GDP comes from manufacturing? Is it about 10, 20, or 30%? The answer is around 10%. For comparison, in Germany, it's closer to 20%. Quiz question 7. Historically, which manufacturing industry has been the cornerstone of central Canada's economy? Textiles, automotive, or aerospace? The automotive sector has been the traditional powerhouse. Quiz question 8. True or false? Canada is a net exporter of manufactured goods, meaning it sells more than it buys. The answer is false. Canada currently runs a trade deficit in manufactured goods. Quiz question 9. Which of these high-tech products does Canada have a globally recognized manufacturing niche in? Smartphones, regional jets, or consumer drones? The answer is regional jets and aerospace components. Quiz question 10. What term describes the economic challenge where a strong resource sector can make a country's other sectors, like manufacturing, less competitive? Is it the Dutch disease, the London effect, or the Tokyo syndrome? The correct term is the Dutch disease. So, to recap this section, while Canada has key manufacturing strengths, its overall industrial output relative to its economy size is smaller than that of many other advanced nations, creating a reliance on importing finished goods. We're about halfway through our analysis. If you're finding this exploration of the Canadian economy interesting, please take a moment to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think would happen if Canada were to double its manufacturing output over the next 2 decades? How might that shift its place in the world? Let's continue our discussion. This brings us to strategic diplomacy. A country's level of industrialization directly impacts its international relationships and its sovereignty. Nations that primarily export raw materials can find themselves in a less powerful negotiating position than those who control the technology and factories to create finished products. What could happen if the countries that buy Canada's resources decide to source them elsewhere or develop synthetic alternatives? This creates a strategic vulnerability. Conversely, a nation that manufactures essential goods, from medical equipment to advanced technology, holds more leverage on the global stage. Quiz question 11. During a global crisis, which of these items would a highly industrialized nation be better able to produce for itself? Wheat, pharmaceuticals, or crude oil? The answer is pharmaceuticals and other complex manufactured goods. Quiz question 12. Which international trade agreement heavily integrates Canada's economy with the US and Mexico? Is it CUSMA, USMCA, CETA, or CPTPP? The answer is CUSMA, the successor to NAFTA. Quiz question 13. True or false? Having a smaller manufacturing base can make a country more dependent on global supply chains for essential goods. This is true. We saw this during the early days of the pandemic. Quiz question 14. A country that adds value to its own resources before exporting is said to be moving upward. The supply ladder, the value chain, or the production pyramid? The correct answer is the value chain. Quiz question 15. How can industrial capacity be considered a component of national security? Does it provide more soldiers, enable self-sufficiency in critical times, or increase a country's landmass? It enables self-sufficiency in critical times. Let's recap. A nation's industrial base is not just an economic issue. It is a core element of its strategic independence and diplomatic influence in a complex world. Finally, let's explore future economic paths. The question is not about recreating the factories of the past, but about embracing the industries of the future. There is immense potential for Canada to expand its capacity in high-tech manufacturing. Think of areas like artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and biotechnology. Furthermore, the global shift towards a green economy presents a massive opportunity. Canada has the resources, like lithium and cobalt, needed for batteries. What could happen if Canada decided not just to mine these minerals, but to lead the world in manufacturing the batteries and electric vehicles they power? This would transform the economy from a resource provider to a technology leader. Quiz question 16. What emerging industry combines data analytics with manufacturing? Is it Industry 4.0, Agritech, or FinTech? The answer is Industry 4.0, or the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Quiz question 17. Which Canadian city is known as a major hub for artificial intelligence research? Is it Calgary, Vancouver, or Montreal? Montreal is a globally recognized AI hub. Quiz question 18. True or false? Building a green energy manufacturing sector would contradict Canada's position as an energy producer. This is false. It would represent a transition and diversification of its energy identity. Quiz question 19. The process of bringing manufacturing back to a home country from overseas is known as what? Offshoring, reshoring, or nearshoring? The term is reshoring. Quiz question 20. To build a high-tech manufacturing sector, what is the most critical investment a country can make? Is it in infrastructure, skilled education, or tax cuts? While all are important, a highly skilled and educated workforce is absolutely essential. So, is Canada under-industrialized? The evidence suggests that, relative to its peers and its potential, there is a significant opportunity for growth. By leveraging its resources, investing in future-focused industries, and strategically aiming to move up the value chain, Canada could forge a more resilient, innovative, and influential economic future. It's a complex challenge, but one filled with possibility. Thank you for joining this deep dive into the Canadian economy. We hope this analysis provided a clear and balanced perspective. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content that explores the critical questions shaping our world. Thanks for watching.